Leon, thank you very much for being here. I'm so excited to have you.
Yeah, good morning, Michael.
Good morning. I was really looking forward to that. Also, congratulations for ESCP being in the top 10 like most efficient universities in terms of startup foundation in the Redstone University Index. Really amazing result, and that's why I really wanted to talk to you, and I'm very happy that we could find a time. So maybe just before we go into the university and all of that, maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself, your background. I assume one doesn't kind of wake up or in school and says, "Hey, I want to lead a international university." So maybe you can share that.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, for your invitations again. I think throughout my journey, I had a guiding principle, which is to love learning. Second, listening. And third is to transmit knowledge and competencies. So even when I was teenager, I was a tennis instructor for children and teaching them, to love tennis and the passion for the game. So that was my passion for education. But at that time, I didn't know that I one day would become professors and the deans. So I never thought that. So after studying at the universities, in finance, the audit, because I'm a French chartered accountant. So I work in a big firm, like what we call Big Four, like from upon the Deloitte. And then I was quite, something missing that's, I'm passionate for something in terms of intellectual, things. So I decided to do a PhD. And that's why my story started, because at that time, my PhD supervisor was professor at HEC Paris. So he asked me in 96 to teach at HEC Paris. I never taught before, and in international track and so. So that's was the story that's about the education. And then in 1999 at ESCP, they asked me also to be part-time lecturers, which I accepted. And then I love it, ESCP. So from 30 hours, so I taught 150 hours. So it's like the full-time professors. So in 2005, they asked me to be a part-time permanent professor. And so I accepted. And at the time, I became a partner at Deloitte. So I did both. And when I was inside, I loved very much ESCP. And then in 2009, I decided to resign, Deloitte. And so I sold my shares. I was shareholder at Deloitte in France. So, and that's my story, the truth. That's his first level, assistant professors, associate, and full professors, and so on. So, and at that time, the different deans asked me to work with them. So that's why I got the chance to have a management position as well. So that's my story about the education and ESCP.
Amazing. So, we're already very early a kind of desire and for maybe teaching and coaching. Can you also maybe describe a little bit, like, how would you describe your then leadership style or an educational philosophy?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The leadership style and educational philosophy are linked with your personal experience, backgrounds. And for me, I would say that this starts with during my childhood, because I was born in Laos, and I was part of my time educated by the monks, So I like to discuss with them about the life philosophy, the principle about how to be in harmony with the nature and so on. So I think that's probably that the transmissions, of the knowledge and things like that. The curiosity is based on with them. So I would say that's, and of course with your family, of course with your parents and so on. So my leadership style, I would say that I'm more what we call authentic leaderships. I like transparency, and I like to unback everyone. So I like to be benevolent, but at the same time to be firm. You see. So to also to accompany them, because my role is this is important. Is not for myself to meet my targets, my assignment. It's my role is to make sure that they can progress, and also that we will collectively meet our objectives. So my role is to make sure that will be promoted. My role is, for each our colleagues. So this is important. So it's how I can help them to increase their career. This is my role. And also when we say increase the careers, also intellectual, and how they can meet their passion. You have a passion about doing something, and also with your work. So my role is to match their passions and also what they want to do, and what kind of job position they can get it. So that's my role.
Amazing. Mary, I mean, it's super interesting. How did you kind of come from Laos to France? How did that happen?
When I was 8, at the time in Laos, there was a civil war. So my parents decided to immigrate as political refugee in France. So we were so happy and lucky to be, managed and also welcomed by the Red Cross. So that's why. And thanks to France and thanks to the Red Cross, so I have an excellent education.
I mean, that's a very impressive and unusual story, and even more though with I think Korea that you have later taken, and probably we could speak for hours about that alone. But let's quickly focus on ESCP, and maybe you can describe your kind of institution. I think it's a very interesting, very unusual actually structure. So I'm sure people would love to learn more and hear about that.
Yes. If you allow me just a few things about ESCP, you know that ESCP BS School is the oldest business school in the world, founded in 1819. And it's one of the founders of ESCP. Actually, he coined the term entrepreneurs. It's Professor
really?
Jean-Baptiste. Yes, it's a French term, And before entrepreneurs is the man who wants to seduce a woman. This is the French meaning of entrepreneurs. And then he changed because Professor Jean-Baptiste, he was a famous economist and at the same time entrepreneurs. So he coined the term entrepreneurs is how to seduce investors. You see what I mean? So you see that how to be a creators, inventors of the companies. So to serve the society. That's why he asked a group of entrepreneurs to create ESCP. So this is important. And the second anecdote is that James Wharton, the man who founded Wharton School in Pennsylvania, he visited ESCP in 1871 because we were the first business school in the world. So he wanted to create the first business school in the US. And then Wharton School was founded in 1881. And he asked the first dean of the Wharton School to come as well to see how we manage a business school, that you see. So that's very interesting. And now ESCP, it's, as you say, a pan-European universities because we have 6 schools, 6 campuses in Europe. In France, we are higher educations, providers, so we can grant, of course, French degrees. But as you know, Michael, in Germany, we're a German university. We can award German degrees from bachelor's to PhD. And now, this September, we can grant British degrees by our own. So you see, we are recognized as, British higher education provided, and we can grant British degree, recognized, because it's a state recognized degrees. So you see, where we are present, like in Italy, we are an Italian university, foreign university. In Spain, we are, of course, higher education providers authorized by the Spanish government and so on. You see, that's the uniqueness of ESCP. The second point is we have and we welcome 10,000 students, and they are taking degrees, and we welcome 6,000 executive participants. So in terms of cohort, it's around 16,000 across our 6 campuses. Yeah, so we offer a quite comprehensive portfolio from bachelor's, master's. So we have 22 master degrees, and of course, PhD, executive PhD, and so on. So that's ESCP.
And students then study only in one campus, or it's like, how does a typical curriculum look like?
Yes.
They switch?
Exactly. This is also the singularity of ESCP, is that in order to be graduates from ESCP, you have to minimum to do 2 other campuses, meaning that you have to do Paris, Berlin, for example, to be graduates. So this is a singularity of ESCP. And also among the 10,000 students, 35% are French, meaning that French are part of the diversity. So 65 are non-French, coming from 134 countries. You see, we're kind of small United Nations. So this is very interesting, because we will discuss later on about the impact in terms of entrepreneurships and innovations.
Yeah. That's indeed very, very unusual and very, very special. I've met a few former students, and they normally speak very highly of that concept. One question I'm always asking, if you have this kind of this university, and oftentimes a lot of, let's say, very independent professors, how do you kind of strive for kind of quality control and performance in such an environment? How do you organize that? And then even with more complexity spread across 6 campuses in 6 different countries. I mean, for me, that sounds like a managerial nightmare.
Yeah, this is an organization matrix, Actually, how do you control? You have different kinds. The first is what I call upstream control. When you select some faculty members, that you hire, so you have to make sure that they fit your requirement in terms of excellence requirements, in terms of how they adhere your values, how they will work, how they will accomplish in this ecosystem, your ecosystem. So this is what I call upstream control. And then, of course, during is we have a different process. Like before becoming the dean of the school, I was the deputy dean and in charge of the academic affairs of both campuses, meaning that I was the chairman of the European Teaching Learning Committee. So we need to harmonize in each campus. Each campus, they have their academic, committee, but at the same time, so we have a European one. So this European one, of course, control the quality. And also we assign objective for each professors, faculty members. So they are evaluated annually. So that's why we know it's for their research, for the course that they are teaching, and because actually the students evaluate for each courses, the professors. So based on that, and also the citizenship, and you see, this is, and they have a peer, it's reviewed by a peer, by that peer, and then it comes up with European faculties committee, and then I share this annually, and you see, and for the promotion as well, you see. So this based on, when I say annually, actually it's each semester we have this, but the semester is more short one, but the final one is the annual review. So based on that, we can review and we can say, and we have, and we have, I would say, we send an individual letter to each professors at the end, and to say they are doing great, and this area they need to improve, and so on and so on, and we encourage them.
So very transparent, and also like basically helping with potential improvements. How, maybe as an add-on then, what sometimes I feel is a challenge, like how to balance an excellence in research, in teaching, and in entrepreneurship, which you just mentioned is one of your strongholds. How do you organize that? How do you balance that? These three areas: research, teaching, and entrepreneurship.
Actually, is first is we try to, when we recruit one faculty members in international profile, to make sure that this person has the potential to do three. It's not only about research, it's also about teaching, and also about impact. And impact, it could be any initiative, in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of management of the program, and so on. So that's, for us, this is important. And to try to have this triangle. And then, of course, some faculty members, they are very passionate for one domain, like research, teaching, and so on. So that's why they can be trained and they're doing their career. So that's why we ask them, okay, now you're doing well this, now you can progress in this area, and so on. You see. So for us, is based on the objectives, because the annual review said, I think that for the next 3 years you can work on that. This is your priority. It doesn't mean that you don't work in other area, but we say this is the dominant part, and that's what we are doing.
And then in terms of research, are there any kind of areas or kind of, I don't know, breakthroughs that you have done, which you're particularly proud of at your universities, or areas where you say, hey, did we have really a very stronghold in these areas?
I think that something that we're very proud is probably on ESG. This is the first thing: environmental, social governance, including ethics. And with the interdisciplinary approach, very transversal approach. You see, entrepreneurs are working that like social entrepreneurship, in marketing, in HR, in strategies, in cost sustainability. So we create discipline departments, units we call sustainability departments, where we gather entrepreneurs, people from the marketing, finance, from the organization behavior, strategy, and so on, from different disciplines, in order to work in the same topics. So this is the first thing that we're very proud of. The second thing that we're proud, this is part of our DNA, is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is this is part of our values. We create around 19 years ago what we call out thinking. Stanford, they create design thinking. And 19 years ago, we said, of course, we use design thinking, in order to have creativity, innovations. And so 19 years ago, our professors, a group of persons create art thinking. And the approach is to work with artists. This is an artistic approach thinking, meaning that we ask some artists to join, to coach, and during 3 days, we select one topic, and then participants must work with this topic and create a piece of art during 3 days. And after, we have a vernissage. And so this, through the artistic approach, we generate innovative, creative things, new things, in terms of process, in terms of product, services. And so we succeed to train more than 200 companies, multinationals, and 300 professors around the world, including at Stanford or LSE and so on. So I think we're quite proud about, in terms of new approach, that we can generate new ideas actually, and to go through not your comfort zone, but I would say your effort zone. So that's we see what we did and we're doing.
That's certainly very, very innovative, and was innovative. It's interesting how many things you inspired, or your institution. Maybe let's pass on a little bit similar area, but to teaching, and also speak about how is there any innovations that you have done in terms of the teaching concepts? How do you make sure that students learn well and good, especially if they come from such a broad kind of set of backgrounds?
The first is we have to take the opportunity and also the richness of the participant, meaning that they are coming from different backgrounds, different nationalities. When I say backgrounds, it's they are engineers, political science, literature, business school, journalists, and law, and so different backgrounds, even medical doctors and so on. So, and military, actually, we have, so many various backgrounds. And second thing is international background. So the first thing in terms of pedagogies is they have to work in group. So they have a lot of group work. So the thing is, I would say during 1 day, we separate in 3 slots. The first is during the class. During class is, of course, we provide principles, and they have cases to solve and to discuss, to be shared about how they can solve the business cases and so on. And after that, we assign them some kind of group work, for group projects. So from different disciplines, they have to work together. And the third is, I would say it's what we call personal development, so student societies. But when we say student society, you have a society in entrepreneurship. You have like Star Meetup, social entrepreneurship, or entrepreneurship in sustainability and so on. So you see, during 1 day, they have 3 components, but everything is linked. And because when you learn something from the class, you can practice. And also it's based on your interest, your passion, because based on student society. So based on what you want, so personal development. You see that's why what we want to do and what we will strengthen in the future is based on that.
Maybe additionally to that, one question that I always like to ask is, now obviously we have this huge shift and advancement in terms of AI. I think a lot of the things, or couldn't you theoretically, a lot of things that you are teaching and that students are experiencing also create in a digital format. So maybe ask a little bit blunt, why at all do you need ESCP?
I would say we will need more and more ESCP faculty members. For me, AI or Gen AI, it's like your personal assistant. But the personal assistant won't replace you. And the personal assistant would be for the students and also for the faculty members. Actually, it's what we're doing now. So when ChatGPT came I think in February, I remember, just 2 weeks later, we authorized, the student to use, and we apply a kind of code of conduct, it's at that time it was a temporary one, of course, because and then we formalize a better one and so. So it's like for your master thesis, for exam, it's a preparation. But for your master thesis, you say, okay, you can ask ChatGPT to write for you. Yes, but when you don't code and you have a maximum of 20% that work from ChatGPT, and if you don't code, you have a sanction. It's like when you code, any sources of references, books, or from the internet and so on. So this is the same thing. And why I'm saying that AI will be your personal assistant. Actually, it will encourage you. It will help you progress, and it will be more individualized, personalized. So because each person is unique, so AI will understand what your preference, domain of interest, and what area you can improve, and so on. So that's what and this is the same thing that we are doing with for the professors. As you said, for the courses, the professors, they would put the script of the courses, and AI would help them to do the slide very quickly, and the videos. And even now we have our own avatar, that. So now what we're doing is that I can do my courses in English or in French, and then the students in the future can change the language to understand, and either in Chinese or German. So I can speak, my avatar will speak in German with my tone, with my image in German or in Chinese. And that's what we're doing now. You see, so
that's amazing. So basically then your own avatar, and then the lecture can basically be listened in, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 different languages, depending on your preference.
Yes, 40 languages, exactly. So that's we just start with experiments 6 months ago, and now we're implementing. So now the process start to do that. You see, and also it helped for exam, for the quizzes. So we put the script, and then the AI will provide different kind of quizzes. But how they say we will use it is that we don't ask AI to to detect or to do the exam. No, so just an assistant.
That's really next level. And theoretically, then in the future, like you could even depending on the personality of the student, then the avatar automatically kind of relates maybe a little bit more to a certain students. It's really amazing what kind of world opens up there.
Exactly. That's why I think this create more opportunities than threats. And of course, not just niche. I just say, and of course, we have to be cautious about the ethics, of course.
That for sure. And I couldn't agree more. I also think that in general, AI is a huge opportunity, and we're just now starting to kind of slightly understand what might be possible in the future. But I think also obviously a lot of founders talk about AI, and maybe we jump a little bit to entrepreneurship. To start, maybe you can share a few of the success stories that came from ESCP.
You may know that in France we have 34 tech unicorns. when I say 34, it's based in France or outside of France, meaning that they are founded by French and also the study in France. Among the 34, 7 co-founded by alumni of ESCP. So probably we are the number one. But when we see 7, because when I say it's in France and outside of France, so 7. So like in AppCall is, it's a telecommunication platform based on cloud called Center. And so you have Ncock Store, it's kind of Amazon, but for more boutiques, merchants. Believe it, you may know it's independent music label, and they want to do like Spotify and so. I don't know if you heard about Hugging Face.
Of course.
Maybe, yes. So actually, he was my student. So he was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Clément Delong, so Kiriba, it's a global leaders in cloud treasury and finance solutions. JD Smart, you may know, it's a company that specializes in optimizing, distributing, and monetizing video content for creators across, social media and so on. Paysheet, it's a software that provides cloud-based payroll and human resources and so on. And of course, this isn't tech, but if you count other industry in finance and so on, like you may know, Tikio Capital now, the capitalizations is stronger than Lazard Investment Bank, you see. So it was founded by one of the alumni of ESCP. So you see that we're quite strong. And the second point, as you may know, it's in terms of funding raised by the founders. Do you know that ESCP, we are the first business school in Europe? Business school, I'm not saying university, because the first university who success to raise the most funding is Oxford University. The second is Cambridge University. The third is Imperial College. And the fourth is LSE, London School of Economics. And the fifth is ESCP. But you see that the first 4 are university because they are comprehensive. They have medical school, they have economics, they have engineering school. We are only university based on business discipline. And so we succeed to raise 5.4 billions, in terms of projects that's the standard graduate from ESCP, the master level. So we are the number one in terms of business school in Europe. And so you see that this is quite interesting, and you may know that in Germany, we are ranked number 1 for the number of the startup related to student members. And so that's something interesting. And yeah.
A fantastic track record, and so many amazing stories. You could probably write a book about your alumni that founded really kind of amazing companies. But I mean, you've seen quite a few, and obviously there are so many more that maybe haven't yet become a unicorn or don't even need so much funding. Do you see any common traits in them? Can you kind of spot an entrepreneur early on when he's sitting in your lecture?
This is interesting. The second one, because Clément Delong, I remember seeing, he's quite curious, and but he knows that he wants to be an entrepreneur. So, the second example is Benjamin Rochier. I don't know if you heard about his story. He sold in 2021 at Publica, an advertising platform for sports TV. that were acquired by Integral, App Sciences for 220 million, US dollars. And it's around 6 years of that when he found his startup. And actually, I remember he was curious and he knows, and he did the track because we have a specialization called entrepreneur track or optional entrepreneur, basically. So that's why. And we know that when they go to this track, probably they will become a great entrepreneurs. So that's why. Yes. And also the second point is we have also among our alumni. I just give you another example. Was he was a CFO as telecommunications companies, and he decided to create his own companies. And Tofan Global. Tofan Global would be probably the next unicorn because it's a great. I think it's their number 4 now in telecommunications in the world. You see, and especially in Africa. You see, in terms of the platform connections. So you see, he found it just a few years ago. See, so that's why. That's also because I think one of the things is they have old convictions. When you are entrepreneurs about your ideas, and they have expertise because they know well what they want to do, or they create their expertise. See, so that's the things that I can see that after they can become, and of course, all of them they have a common point. They are very resilient.
So would you say if you would, for example, have to pick kind of two characteristic traits, and obviously personalities often differ very much. Some are introverted, extroverted, but that no matter what, they're all very curious and very resilient.
Yes, exactly. And also, when we say resilient, meaning that they believe in their convictions, no matter the difficulties, they know they would struggle. They would. And, I remember once entrepreneurs I met in India, of course, which is a number of ESCP. And he said, Leon, I built thousands of failure castle, but only one success. That's it. You see. So that's why he founded so many companies, but he doesn't care. He just listen and I think that's what I say in terms of resilience, important characteristic.
I couldn't agree more. Actually, also at Redstone, we tried really to dig deep into that characteristic with founders, because we're always trying to figure out, are they just kind of, is it just hip for them to found, or are they really convinced? Because it's so incredibly hard to build a successful company. And after 3 or 6 months at the beginning, everybody applauds you and says, "Oh, it's so great, you're a founder," and ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. But then after a while, that really wears off, and you're just, all your friends kind of progress in their career, they're earning more. And as a founder, you're still stuck. You still haven't found product market fit. It's difficult to raise money, maybe. So to kind of be able to go through that very hard time. It's like mentally oftentimes super difficult if you compare yourself with your friends and peers.
Yes, exactly.
So I mean, if you have all these successful kind of startups and founders, why do you have so much more than other universities? Because like your budget compared to many other both universities but also business school is not necessarily large, and you're certainly certain medium-sized business school, but not excessively larger than others. And maybe also what kind of, I don't know, what you do, what support structures do you have? What do you offer students?
I think that's I used to say, ESCP, we are a young startup of 4 years old. Uh, because that's why I say to all my colleagues, all my alumni, and community, we have to be agile. And that's why, and we don't communicate much, as you see. I can provide you more figures and fact that we are doing better than others school, but we don't communicate. So because we don't have time to communicate, we just do. And so that's why I think, because we have a perfect ecosystem, and also at ESCP, we create the ecosystem. And you say to help, you say, for example, you need this kind of mentoring. We will make sure actually during the, when a student that they are mentored by the famous entrepreneurs, and so on, they come and they share their experience, not about success, actually about the failure, what not to do. You see, we try to provide them a fast track, and also to test them to make sure, are you, will you want, or are you want, or do you want, sorry, are you willing to do, to be entrepreneurs? What's the job of real entrepreneurs? Because, if you do, sometimes they say it's like a dream, you want to be entrepreneurs, but what does it mean behind the term entrepreneurs? So we make sure that everything is aligned in their mind. So that's why for the students, we provide a lot of experience to them, because entrepreneurs, they come and share their views and so on. And we accompany them through the program, because, we have an incubator called Refactory. And that's, we have 3 programs, I think this is normal, classic, start, seeds, scale. So I think that's this kind of program. So they are mentored, but in terms of finance, in terms of ideas, and their prototype, the stage, and we challenge them, and also the peers challenge them, actually. It's not only more themselves.
So I have a few questions around that. So if you say start, seed, and scale, you mean depending on where your startup is, you can choose different programs?
Exactly.
And then you get different content?
Exactly.
And if you said you're helping to form or create the ecosystem, what do you mean exactly with this? Is this, this probably not just having a few former entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs giving lectures.
I think this system ambitious. This first is to encourage, and because they have a passion, so we have to make sure that this passion, based on what they want to create, initiate. Because for us, we try also to provide them advice, a lot of insight. For me, is that when you create something, you have to have the biggest impact. Because it's the niche, don't waste your time. You see. So that's why we try to discourage these kind of things, this kind of project. So, and the second thing is, in terms of ecosystem, they can meet among the students. I just give an example. This is from the bachelor's. One French, Czechoslovakia, and so we have double with nationalities and citizenship. And he met one Korean guy, so student. So they decided to create a virtual educations, you see, and they succeed to raise 1 million euros, which is not bad, because, they are only 19 years old at that time, you see. So I think that's how you create is because they can share ideas with different background and different nationalities. So I think that's, and also because we accompany them, the professors, and also we have professional staff who accompany them. Okay, you should do like this, or you should meet these people, and so on. So we try to create these kind of things, and still to make sure that they're still willing to do, because sometimes they will say, "Oh no, it's too hard for me. Okay, now it's enough in terms of experience, so I won't go." So that's the point that we follow them.
And what role does your alumni network play in that?
This is important because the comes has, for example, Aircon Jonathan. He came back and to share his view about the success and the failures, and so on. So that's why we provide not only from our alumni committee and also from the great community, entrepreneurs community. ESCP, we are the founder of La Boussole. La Boussole is, you may know, it's the association of incubators in France, all the incubators in France. So we are one of the founders. So that's why we also benefit from this ecosystem.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And maybe then additionally to that, what or one critique about business schools is that today's problems are mainly now, or the big problems are mainly physical or very complex technical topics, and still, and even also in general out of universities, a lot of the startups are more software or internet companies. What are your thoughts on this? And is it something that you're thinking about, concerned?
At first, well, I'm not concerned because innovations is everywhere. And for me, that's why I learned 12 years ago, because I like very much acronyms in terms of alliance and partnerships. I call ABCDE partnerships in France and outside globally. ABCD means that we, as business school, we need to work with A for art in art school, B for, of course, business, C for cultures, D for design, diplomacy, defense school, and E for engineering. So that's why we have done degrees with this kind of different disciplines, because this is interdisciplinary approach. So, our, for example, alums or students can work with engineers, and then they can create more on industrial innovation and so on, or in arts, for creativity and so on. So it will be based on what they will find, or in law and so on. So for me, it's, the creations and especially the innovations, for sure that we see more on intangible things, e-commerce, clouds, in of course now AI, for sure. So in digital, so everything, in AI, big data, blockchain, cybersecurity, coding, digital transformation. So in this area, for sure, it's more important point. Even, now we have a joint, we launched 3 years ago, a joint program with one top engineering school called San Supélec, and with ESCPs, a master degrees in industrial transformations, you see. So it's more on physical, but it's a hybrid actually, because, when you transform, even in factory, you have to take into account, AI and digital platform and robotics and so on. So that's one.
You mentioned actually a few times defense, and I think you're also on the advisory council of one of the leading military academies.
Yes.
I was told in France. Can you? It's the first time somebody mentioned that so often here on the podcast. Can you share a little bit your thoughts around maybe the military defense and entrepreneurship, and what role maybe ESCP plays, and also maybe you can share a little bit about the military academy, what type of changes have been there? Is there any collaboration?
Yeah, yes. because we at ESCP we have a dual degree with SACIL, the military school. They're at the same time military school, the engineering school, actually. And so I have the chance to be there in their advisory council, which include the academics and also the strategic views of the school. And also we work with the college, the work college we call, and to prepare officers, military officers to be the future general. So we are work with them as well. So you see that we work well, in that ecosystem of the military and the defense. Why? Because we have common topics. First, in terms of leadership, entrepreneurs is also leaders. So that's the how to connect, how to impact everyone. Picking one project. Second, in terms of defense, when we say defense is not only for the military, it's all for the civilian. When we're talking about the military in terms of defense, it's cybersecurity. So when we have this kind of geopolitical tensions, in the world, we have to understand. And AI, for example, we influence in terms of the data. So that's why when we say the defense, it's at the broader view, not only physical defense, but intangible defense and so on. So that's why for us, this is important things to work. And also, thanks to them, we can share common things and how the views to develop new innovations in this area. Because that's why, as I said, ABCDE, like us to have different perspective, and sometimes different perspective with common topics. Entrepreneurship, leadership, innovation, etc. So I think that when we have their views, so we enhance, the way how we can create the project and so on, or initiate the project. So that's why, thanks to that, we're very happy to collaborate. And also myself, I colonel at citizenship civil colonel. So meaning that I'm not operational. You see what I mean? It's just to have conversations and to promote the defense of France. So and to have a lot of discussion with them how we can collaborate together, our two institutions.
Very, very interesting. Maybe as a last question, because we're nearing the end. France has done extraordinarily well in the realm of startup world and creation of startups, and I think from being maybe not so good over the last decade, really changed completely the game. Why is that? How did that happen? And maybe what role did ESCP play in it?
You mean I know?
So France as a country is now a lot more probably innovative and creates a lot more startups, and also a lot more bigger startups, impactful startups. So it seems like the nation has become very entrepreneurial. How did that happen?
For me, I think this is part of the ingredients. The ingredient is the foundations, because France was quite strong in mathematics. So meaning that for analytical reasoning and so on. Second, quite good in terms of initiative, creation, imaginations, because we are quite have independent mindset. This cultural mindset of, And third is because the government would like to encourage us to become a startup nations. So that's why I think maybe three based on these cultures, and also to educate, start entrepreneurs to have a different, to see it from different perspective. This is when I say cultures, the history, the marketing, and different, disciplines to gather together, philosophy, and so. So this is humanity, and so languages, and so. And also we maintain a very strong in mathematics. So this is important. And thirdly, because the governments want to encourage, even we don't have any money, but the spirit is there. That's the most important.
That's a good last word. The spirit is there. Fantastic, Leon. It was so great. It was so inspirational. It's a pity we have to stop now. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. And bye. Keep in touch.
So now I stopped. Yeah. Thank you very much.